Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. NASA has taken some strange new images showing what looks like a possible secret message written into the sand dunes that are on the planet Mars. And you're actually seeing the image here. And Gizmodo.com did an article about this. I'll put the link to it down in the video description, and it's been featured on a few other various news outlets. But basically, NASA spotted this strange configuration of lines and dots in the sands of Mars that look eerily similar to Morse code. And if you don't know what Morse code is, it's an alphabet or code in which letters are represented by combinations of long and short signals of light or sound, or as you're seeing here, and was used way back in the day as lines and dots. So these strange photos, series of photos actually, came out looking to show what looked like, at least, some sort of Morse code etched into the surface in the sands of Mars, which obviously has sent a lot of people into conspiracy theory overdrive. And by the way, the link to this image I will put down into the video description. And the photo is actually from the Haggle Dune Field, which is near Mars's north polar cap. And if you'll look down here in the lower right corner, here is the actual translation that was done and provided to Gizmodo in their article. And you can obviously figure this out yourself if you know how to read and write in Morse code. But as you can see, it's a long line of gibberish. Or is it? I don't know. It could be some sort of alien language. You never know, trying to send us sort of an SOS in the sand, who may know that we have orbiters up there and may want to send us a message. But obviously, I don't think it's likely that aliens are writing secret messages into the soils on Mars. Nonetheless, the reason I wanted to show you guys this is simply because of the beautiful imagery captured in these Martian dunes, and the fact that NASA really does not grasp how these strange, what look like messages, have been made in these dunes. They don't understand it. A NASA spokesperson said that these circular depressions you're seeing, which are probably an old and unfilled impact crater, has a limited amount of sand available for dune formation and influenced local winds. As a result, the dunes here form distinct dots and dashes, formed by bidirectional winds, which are not traveling parallel to the dune. The smaller dots, also called Barkanoid dunes, occur where there is some interruption to the process forming those linear dunes. The spokesman then added that, however, these dunes and how they are created are not well understood at the present, and that its special high-resolution imaging science experiment, or HiRISE camera, will be taking some closer images of this area and monitor this very bizarre pattern here in the sand. And they've also said that this could have been created due to that it has a very low density when compared to Earth, the atmosphere that is. And another interesting thing to note is that the sand dunes on Mars are very different from the dunes here on Earth, wherein which, due to the atmosphere's low density, the Martian dunes take on features that we'd expect to see on Earth underwater and at the bottom of our oceans. So, fun little interesting fact there. Now, there's also been some other news about Mars that I want to talk to you about in this video, which is the fact that scientists are discovering that there may be much more water flowing on Mars than we originally thought. Now, of course, we discovered, well, officially, NASA discovered and made public last year the fact that they had discovered flowing water on Mars. When, if you watch our channel, you'll know that we have been talking about this for years, how there has been water seen in rover images, little streams of water coming out of craters with no real source to where the water is coming from. And now there's this mystery of these dark streaks on Mars. And a recent NASA study has reignited claims that the giant canyon on Mars may hold flowing water as we speak. Now here you're seeing a time lapse of some of these dark streaks of water coming down the slopes of craters, and they've also found them on these slopes nearby Mount Sharp. And these streaks, or recurring linear slopes, may be created by underground water flows, and that these streaks of water are the best chance of finding evidence for extraterrestrial life on or possibly underneath the planet's surface. So, these new images have come out showing these seasonally dark streaks on Martian slopes, and they've found thousands of these things in the red planet's largest canyon system, the Valles Marineris region near Mars' equator. And you're seeing an image here where the blue dots on this map indicate sites of recurring slope lineae, where they're basically finding this water coming out of the soil in this massive canyon on Mars that are 100% indicators of water coming from somewhere. However, they have studied this, and first they thought it could be coming from ice frozen on the surface and then melting, but they recently ruled that out. They also said it could be condensation from the atmosphere. However, there is so much of this water that it only leaves one last possible source, and that is coming from underground. So they found these seasonal flows of water coming out of these canyon ridges. And Matthew Chonacki, the lead author from the University of Arizona's Lunar and Planetary Laboratory in Tucson, said in a new report in the Journal of Geophysical Research that the occurrence of these recurring water streams in these canyons is much more widespread than previously recognized. And as far as we can tell, the water in this canyon is the densest population of them on the entire planet. And obviously, I don't have to tell you guys how the ramifications of discovering that liquid water is coming from possible underground oceans under Mars, or more importantly, and of course this will never be said publicly, but a possible irrigation system filtering dirty water up to the surface of Mars from an underground civilization. Now, why do I say that this could possibly be dirty or used water being filtered out from underground up to the surface? Well, another article came out from the popularmechanics.com website, in which they discovered that the water on the surface may not be drinkable as it would be here on the Earth, after the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter determined that these slopes contain very, quote, briny liquid water. So it's basically dirty water that's being filtered up to the surface from somewhere underneath. Now, as we've talked in many videos in the past on this channel about possible underground civilizations on Mars, we've talked about the scarring that is on Mars, where it looks as if there was some sort of massive nuclear war where there were high-energy weapons used on the planet, creating these artificial scars on Mars that are not natural, Valles Marineris being one of them, creating these huge cracks and destroying what used to be, and this has been confirmed, that Mars, which was another Earth-like planet a few million years ago, was destroyed. And had that happened here on Earth, what is the next possible place that you would think humans would go if they knew the top surface of their planet was dying, and that is underground? So once you are underground, and you create a system whereby you can funnel water and have water for the civilization, you're obviously going to need a place to funnel out the dirty water that you've used. And what better place than to use a piping system that would bring this dirty water to the surface and let it drain out, just as you're seeing in these Mars images, and just like we've spoken about before. And we've shown you the evidence in past videos of artificial structures on Mars, the presence of these underground tunneling systems that have been found with objects moving through them. And again, there's been some very strange things on Mars that we've seen on the surface, but I'm telling you guys, I think there's a lot more to behold underneath. And we will continue to monitor the images that come into us from the rover, as well as this seemingly endless amount of water sources that are popping up all over the planet, coming from somewhere. That is the big question. We know there's water there, but we don't know where it's coming from, but that it is definitely coming from somewhere. So very interesting, definitely makes you think. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe. I'll be working on another video after I post this one. I'll try to get it up tonight, and I will post updates on Facebook and Twitter when it is ready to be uploaded. So be sure to follow me there. Contact me if you have your own footage or news stories you'd like us to post a video about. And stay tuned, because we got a lot more coming. Stay safe, guys.